Hey everyone, it's September 9th, and that means that if today's your birthday, you share with serial killer Harrison Graham, who murdered 7 victims in the Philadelphia area in the mid-1980s. And that is him right over there. Graham was born in 1959, the oldest of 5 children, and displayed signs of being intellectually and developmentally disabled, having problems with academics and discipline in school before dropping out in the 10th grade. His mother later told reporters that he had spent 2 years in a mental treatment facility when he was 12. Graham worked in construction and moved to North Philadelphia when he was 20, being well known in his neighborhood for being friendly with kids, amusing them with a Cookie Monster puppet. He also had a predilection for using drugs, heavy drinking, and hiring local prostitutes, bringing them home to a squalid one-bedroom apartment which he had turned into a drug den for use by his friends. In 1987, neighbors complained about a terrible smell during the dog days of August when Philadelphia is even more miserable than normal, so his landlord told Graham to leave. He boarded up the entrance before taking some of his things and slipping out via the fire escape. When the landlord couldn't enter the premises, he called the police, and on August 9th they broke down the door, revealing 2 strangled corpses, 3 human skeletons buried beneath a pile of garbage and drug paraphernalia, and another body tied up in the closet. The police began an intensive search for Graham and soon discovered another skull and partial human remains a few doors down and skeletal remains on the roof. Only the 2 most recent victims were able to be identified since they had been strangled within the past 2 weeks. The other victims had been killed sometime in the past 2 years. Graham called his mother a week later asking her to bring him food, and she convinced him to turn himself in, so he contacted the police and arranged to meet them on a street corner and quickly confessed to killing 7 women. His MO was to offer addicts on the street drugs in exchange for sex, then tie up and strangle his victims, after which he would engage in necrophilia with their corpses. Graham opted for a trial by judge instead of a jury of his peers, and during the trial he was fixated on his Cookie Monster puppet, which had been entered into evidence. 2 women came forward and testified that they had lived with him briefly and considered themselves lucky to have escaped. He reportedly would choke them to the point of unconsciousness during sex, and he admitted to them that he had killed his former girlfriend. Graham was convicted of 6 counts of murder and abuse of a corpse, at which point he asked to have his Cookie Monster puppet back. He was sentenced to life in prison to be followed by the death penalty, thus ensuring that he would never be released on parole. A series of appeals yielded different results, with one determining that he must be executed and others saying that he couldn't be, but ultimately his test IQ of 63 and symptoms of mental illness led the courts to declare that he wouldn't be subjected to lethal injection. While in prison, Graham has become an ordained minister and counsels his fellow prisoners at the SCI Cole Township Penitentiary. If this is your birthday, I hope you have a great day. Leave me a comment so I can wish you a happy birthday. If you know someone whose birthday it is today, send them this video so they can find out all about their birthday twin. And to Harrison Graham, I say, happy birthday, you bastard. Also, the man I'm covering up in this photo is serial killer Gary Heidnik, who was born on November 22nd, which is the same birthday as serial killer Robert Ben Rhodes, who my video was about last year.